we weren't smart enough to put electrical tape where you plug each one in, and it was raining. Didn't think anything of it. The next morning, early in the morning, our little dog, who's now departed, Freeway, comes running to our bedroom door and wouldn't stop barking and, kept, banging on the door. So we opened the door, and he started running halfway down the hallway, and he'd run back to us, go halfway down the hallway, ran, back, and he would be barking like he wanted us to follow him. So me and my wife follow him down the hallway into the rec room, and then from the rec room into the dining room. And that's when we noticed our decking was on fire.
Oh, my goodness.
He saved the house from burning down, and maybe we could have burned down with it. I mean, we had to put the fire out. It just tells you that the dog realized something was wrong and wanted us to know. And it was bound and determined to get us out of bed and down, to see where it was at. And then he was staring right at the sliding door there, going out to the deck where it was on fire and just barking. Yeah, I mean, that was like, that dog won so many points with me for the rest of its life. It got treated like God.
That is an amazing story. I love that. But did you say his name was Freeway?
Freeway. He was found on a freeway. Somebody dumped him off a main freeway up here in the Tacoma area, and he was walking on the side of the street. He had a twin, which was female, and it didn't make it. It got ran over on the freeway. And, one of the police officers I knew, said, "Hey, I'm taking this dog to the Humane Society." And I go, "Wow, it's a cute dog." It was part poodle, part terrier. And he then told me the story about, the dog ran out in front of him in the freeway. He stopped. He saw, its, companion, and he grabbed it and put it in the patrol car. And, people do dump off dogs in crazy places. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Believe me, I grew up out in the woods in Bigfoot country. And over the years, over generations of people, they didn't want their dogs no more. They would just drive out where we live and just open the door and leave them. We're 5 miles to the next town. And over generations of doing that, dogs are pack animals. So what do? They become feral, and they pack together in packs of 10 and 15. And I remember all the time being out in the woods, I'd always have to pack some kind of weapon because that was the main danger was wild dogs. They become wild. And I tell you, I've seen what 10 and 15 dogs at once can do. They can work as a team. They are dangerous. But that was a shame people do that to pets and dogs. I hate that.
Also, like when we first got married, me and Linda, we were, out by a river in Maple Valley, Washington. And we noticed a dead dog. And then I noticed it was shot in the head. And then it was, a female dog. And then there was like about 7 puppies all around it, all shot in the head.
Oh, my
So somebody,
God.
After the mother gave birth, they waited about a week or so, and then they took the dog and that took out all the, the puppies and shot them. It was, who would do, they passed a law now. It's a felony now. Yeah. I mean, some states it isn't, but now it's federal. Yeah. It's federal. They passed it. The Congress and the Senate passed it. The president signed it. So if you abuse an animal, you can go to prison now. It's a criminal offense. It's a federal offense.
Yeah, I seen that actually. And, I got news for you. Somebody that would shoot the mother, then 7 puppies, that means he probably had to reload somewhere, maybe. But to do that, you would kill anybody. I mean, that just, you have to be heartless to do that. I just don't know how you can do something like that.
It's nasty how anybody could do that. That's all I can say. Well, in Maine, a girl's message in a bottle was found 36 years later.
Wow. What stories it could tell, traveling 36 years in the ocean currents. Could you imagine? That's wild.
Oh, yeah. Then, here recently they found a bottle that was 100 years old.
Oh, really?
It was bobbing in the ocean for 100 years. It washed on shore. And could you imagine, that person's long gone. But, the message, who knows what the message was? Idaho man juggles balloons with his head for over 3 minutes and wins the world record.
juggles balloons for over 3 minutes with his head. I'm trying to picture that.
Instead of using your hands to juggle balloons up and down and around, he used his head to do it.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, so boy, we're getting all kind of Guinness records every week. People's out knowing that stuff. I'm going to have to check the records. Maybe there's a record I could break in there. I doubt it, but there's always some kind of bizarre off the wall record being broke late.
Yeah, there is. It seems like it every night when I do the wacky news. I go everywhere trying to find wacky news. And, it's funny. I burned off probably, 2 months worth in the last week and a half of wacky news. A mini horse is captured by police after it escaped from a New Jersey farm.
Well, it was a short escape for a short horse, I guess. But I seen a video where a little donkey, not the drinking one, but a sober one, he took the board off the fence and walked right out and let his buddies out. Do you ever see that video? It's funny. His two buddies are trying to get through, and they can't get through. And the other one just picks it up with his mouth and moves it aside, and they all get out.
Well, an escape bull makes a swim for Illinois that's trying to get away from its owner. It led authorities on a chase that included swimming through the river.
Authorities.
Well, they probably have nothing better to do. I mean, you don't want to escape bull running around, do you? You know how vicious they are?
Yes, I do. I've been in that scenario, actually, when I was about 14. My grandfather had a bull, one of them prize bulls, and he was going to take it to a show or something, and it did not want to go. And this bull was big, and it was mean. He was the kind of bull that if you walked in the field, he wouldn't run at you. He'd just walk real slow. But once he got within about 20 yards, buddy, you best move, because he's coming fast and hard and charging at you. And this bull did not want to go, man. He did not. He tore up the truck, the trailer, and the fence and the barn and everything. He was mean.
Oh, yeah. Coast Guard finds a torso of a young lady bobbing off of the Florida coast.
Oh,
they figured a great white shark.
I just seen a report today along the lower east, southern east coast from Florida, Georgia, up in the Carolinas. There's been a lot of sightings, record high actually, of great white sharks. And the one picture was from aerial, like a helicopter or something, and there was, I think, 12 of them, and they were great whites. They weren't, these little bull sharks, and they were, which bull sharks are just as dangerous as great white, but they were great whites anyway.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like any shark. It's as simple as that. I mean, but I guess they do, keep the ocean clean. But, I was reading again today about global warming, the oceans. They're talking that the oceans are already starting to die. And by 2040, they're going to be dead. But maybe we don't have to worry about it. There's an asteroid that's supposed to come, and it's a good chance it could slam in the Earth by about 2040. So, I mean, what better way to go, I guess? Take your choice.
Yeah, actually, there's a couple of them that they know it's supposed to come around that time frame that you just mentioned. And, this global warming, a lot of people don't realize when the ocean levels rise or lower, it's affecting the oxygen content in the water. And, of course, that affects directly on the fish life.
Well, yeah. Well, the fish are dying anyway because as the oxygen level in the ocean is being depleted because the temperature is rising in the oceans. So will start killing off, fish like you wouldn't believe. I mean, we are so worried about everything else, politics, the wall, and not worrying about our grid system. You notice I haven't talked about our grid system in over a month. We need to fix our grid system. Okay? I don't think at this point we can stop global warming by any means. It's already, I think, past the tipping point, but we can slow it down. What I know, I'm not going to be here. Now, you might be when all this major stuff hits. I know I'm not going to be here, but I think of my grandkids, and that's what scares me, because what world are they going to have?
Yeah, right. We're not leaving much for the next couple generations to inherit. And I've said this many times, the population from 1973, I know it was 3.5 billion, and it's double that today, if not more. And what's it going to be in 2040? It's going to probably be 15, 20 billion, and that's a lot of waste and a lot of consumption and a lot of pollution, and it's a recipe for disaster. It really could be.
Well, it's not could be. It's going to be. That's the whole problem here, my friend. And we are destroying it. You know, for years, you know, they blamed it off on aerosol cans. Come on. That was just a tip of the iceberg. Yeah, you think the hairspray my wife and I used back in the 60s and 70s and 80s is going to... No, it's called cars, you know, vehicles, aircraft, you know, the pollution that cars put out and aircraft put out. Let alone, let's face it, if you like milk, cows, you know, their farts, the methane that they produce. But that has been going on forever. But
it has.
But not the cars and not aircraft and all that stuff. I mean, you think about all the pollution that's going on. And, you know, then we had Mount St. Helens, you know, 20 years ago or so go. And then we had this volcano here in New Zealand go. By the way, no survivors. So I'm sorry to say. And again, why would you want to live on a landmass with a small island, basically, with a volcano? I mean, aren't you realizing you're taking your chance? That's like in Sicily and stuff like that. Every so often, the volcano goes off and then takes out a village or two. I mean, don't people realize that? Same with Hawaii.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, yeah.
That, you know what? The only islands. Hawaii, the only way you can get cheap property is you go buy property next to the volcano where it's actually rock and all that stuff. People are building homes in it. But that is really close to, you know, the volcano. You're asking for one day something's going to happen.
Yeah, and you know what else is bad about that, especially in Hawaii, and I reported this story about 2 weeks ago. They have what do they call old volcano or lava tubes underneath the ground, and they could give away at any time. That the older gentleman fell through one and died about a month ago. I reported on it. They just, you know, you could be walking along, they're like sinkholes, just fall in, and you could be die. You know, who knows how deep some of them are. But you're right. That's how them islands were created, was by a volcano, just like Canary Islands and a lot of other islands around the world.
Well, I feel really bad now. A duck named Dave. A duck, you know, quack, quack, duck named Dave has to have his penis removed in surgery.
Oh,
the reason why, well, he's been with the ladies too much, the lady ducks.
It sounded like he got bobbited.
I don't know. Like. It doesn't go into it, but it says that he was well over, very ambitious with the female ducks. And whatever it did, it caused some disease where his penis now has to be removed. So instead of quacking like quack, quack, he's going to be going, well, never mind. I'm not going to even do that one.
He's not going to get his disco duck on anymore. That's for sure. That's too bad. But that's kind of like that near extinct turtle down in Galapagos Island. They found one, or no, it wasn't. It was in Vietnam. It was in Vietnam, I think. But they found this turtle. It was almost extinct, but it was a male, and he had broke his thing there, and so they couldn't breed anymore. They had to find another one. Luckily they did, but yeah, that feel bad for the poor guy.
Yeah, well, boy, if I broke, never mind. Anyway, we'll be back in about 3 minutes. You're listening to James Christbaum. That's right, James Christbaum and me, Gary, the host of Night Dreams Talk Radio. And at the top of the hour, Joe Taylor will be on, and we're going to be talking cryptics like mad for 3 hours tonight. So stay tuned.
And sound and mind. Your radio is a cosmic doorway, and your psyche begins to spark. When you tune in to Gary and the Sun and Night Dreams After Dark.